My beloved child, incline your heart and listen, for there are movements your eyes cannot perceive, yet your soul can discern more clearly than ever before. In the stillness that seems as though nothing is happening, the heavens are in fact trembling under the authority of truth. Not all action is loud. Some decisions are established in the deepest realms, known only to those who walk by faith. I am revealing to you that this moment is unlike any season before. It is the hour where justice and mercy intersect, where the things you have sown in tears are now being called forth into the light of glory. As it is written, "For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, nor anything concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." Luke 8:17. Everything you have lived through in silence is now being brought out of the shadows. Do not be quick to think that delay means neglect, for I have never forgotten you, not even for a single breath. When you knelt in long nights, unseen by anyone, when you kept your heart upright, despite being misunderstood, when you chose silence instead of reaction, every detail was recorded without omission. Now it is not you defending yourself. Your very life is bearing witness on your behalf. As it is written, "The Lord will vindicate his people." Psalm 135:14. Yet this judgment is not to destroy you, but to restore you, to reposition you into the place that was appointed for you from the beginning. Remember the persistent widow who came before the unjust judge. She had no power, no status, only an unceasing cry. Yet it was her persistence that caused the door of justice to open for her. I tell you, that story is not merely a parable, but a living principle. What you hold firmly in faith will be answered in the time I have appointed. As it is written, "Will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones, who cry out to him day and night?" Luke 18:7. You have not been overlooked. You are being brought forward at the right moment to be fully recognized. Perhaps you have wondered why there were seasons when you felt set aside, as though everything around you was moving forward while you remained still. But I tell you the truth, that was not stagnation, it was preparation. I kept you in the hidden place not to forget you, but to keep you from being shaped by the noise of the world. Now that the door is opening, you will not step in with confusion, but with a strength forged through every trial. As it is written, "In all things, God works for the good of those who love him." Romans 8:28. Even what you once considered failure has been building the foundation for your elevation. I know there were moments when you grew weary, times when you felt like giving up because you did not see immediate results. But, my child, faith is not measured by what your eyes can see, but by your steadfastness when you see nothing at all. In that quiet place, your soul has been refined, your heart softened, and your will shaped to align with mine. And when the appointed time comes, it will not arrive in fragments, but will pour forth like a river breaking its banks. As it is written, "He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, and your justice like the noonday sun." Psalm 37:6. Stand in the peace I give you, not a temporary calm, but a deep-rooted steadiness that cannot be shaken. Do not let the voices around you unsettle your heart, for the affirmation you need does not come from people, but from me. When I speak, no one can overturn it. When I open, no one can shut it. As it is written, "I have set before you an open door that no one can shut." Revelation 3:8. That door is not opened by your striving, but by my faithfulness toward you. Therefore, instead of being anxious about what is still unclear, guard your heart in trust. Continue to move forward, not in haste, but in certainty. You are no longer standing outside observing what I am doing. You are now within the flow of it. From this place, you will begin to understand that none of your prayers have fallen into emptiness. They have become the foundation of what I am establishing. As it is written, Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Exodus 14:13. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do is to stand firm and believe. I am not only working for you, I am working through you. Nothing you have gone through will be wasted. It will become a voice, a light, a pathway for others. You are not called merely to overcome, but to become a living testimony of my power. And when you look back, you will no longer say that you merely endured. You will recognize that you were transformed. So lift up your heart. Do not bow down in doubt any longer. This moment is not given for fear, but for revelation, so that you may know I am acting more clearly than ever before. What has been written about you is now being read aloud in heaven, and what I have ordained will not be delayed. You are not forgotten. You are being called by name. And when that call resounds, you will walk not as one searching, but as one who has already been affirmed. My beloved child, there is a voice sounding now that does not belong to the earth, but to eternity, the voice of the one who holds all truth and every outcome. I have seen the journey you have walked, not only what others have known, but also the hidden places where you have quietly endured. I have heard every sigh you kept within, every prayer you offered in solitude, and I have recorded them all as an unerasable testimony. As it is written, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Proverbs 15:3. Nothing in your life has been overlooked or forgotten. And now, you are no longer standing in uncertainty. You are being brought into a moment where justice and truth are fully revealed. Everything that once weighed upon you, false accusations, misunderstandings, wounds you did not cause, is being brought under a light that cannot be hidden. But understand this clearly, this is not the judgment of man. Where emotion and bias distort the scales, this is the place where all things are measured by the perfect righteousness of the one who judges justly. As it is written, he will judge the world in righteousness. He will govern the peoples with equity. Psalm 9:8. In his presence, every falsehood dissolves like mist before the rising sun. Therefore, my child, no longer see yourself as one condemned. Your position has changed. I have called you out of the place of accusation and set you into the place of affirmation. What once caused you to doubt yourself no longer has the authority to define you. As it is written, who will bring any charge against those whom God has chosen? It is God who justifies. Romans 8:33. You are no longer bound by old voices. You now stand within the declaration I have spoken over your life. Remember Joshua the high priest, when he stood before me, clothed in filthy garments, and the accuser stood at his right hand to oppose him. Yet I declared, the Lord rebuke you, Satan, and I commanded that his garments be changed and a clean turban be placed upon his head. Zechariah 3:1-5. My child, that account is not merely history. It is a living picture of what is taking place with you now. What once clung to you as marks of shame is being removed, and a new identity is being placed upon you by my own hand. And beyond what you can see, I am actively moving to protect and establish what I have ordained. Battles unseen by your natural eyes are unfolding, and I have sent forth warriors of light to carry out justice. As it is written, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Revelation 12:7. This affirms that the spiritual battle is real, and you are not alone within it. The forces that once rose against you no longer move freely. They are being pushed back by authority that comes from heaven. Understand this, my child. When my justice is executed, it does not merely clear away what is false, it restores your true identity. What was distorted is being corrected. What was hidden is being brought into light. You are not only being released from the old, you are being marked for the new. As it is written, if anyone is in Christ, He is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Your identity is no longer written by your past, but by my word over you. So rise with a renewed mindset. Do not carry the hesitation of one who was once misunderstood, but walk as one who has been restored. Do not speak of yourself in the language of former pain, but in the language of the new affirmation I have placed within you. When you truly know who you are in me, you will no longer feel the need to argue or prove your worth. Your presence itself will testify. As it is written, let your light shine before others. Matthew 5:16. Not so that you may seek recognition, but so that the light within you may reveal the truth. Now I place within your heart a mark that cannot be erased. You have been redeemed, chosen, and sent, not because you are perfect, but because I have decided to love you and lift you up. The earlier chapters of your life may have been filled with tears, but a new chapter is now being written with power and purpose. As you move forward, you will come to see that everything that once opposed you was only a foundation to raise you higher. So keep your heart anchored in the peace I give you. Do not turn back to listen to voices that have already been silenced. Do not bow to things I have already resolved. You no longer stand in the shadow of your past. You stand in the light of truth. From that place, you will walk not as one seeking validation, but as one who carries the mark of heaven, a mark no one can erase and no one can deny. Because I myself have placed it upon you. My beloved child, quiet your heart, for there are sounds that do not belong to the visible world, yet are resounding deep within your soul. It is not the noise of a storm, but the trembling of power as truth is established. I am showing you that a declaration is being released not by man, but by the one who holds the scales of justice. And when that decree is spoken, it is not merely words. It is a command that causes everything misaligned to withdraw. That strips every invisible chain of its hold over you. As it is written, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. John 8:36. That freedom does not come in fragments, it comes whole, decisive, and irreversibly. There may have been times when you felt held back, as if unseen forces were restraining your steps, as though you were moving without advancing. But, my child, that was not abandonment, it was a process. I allowed seasons of testing to refine you, not to break you, but to reveal you. Just as gold is tested by fire, you too have passed through pressures unseen by others. As it is written, after you have suffered a little while, he will restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. 1 Peter 5:10. What you have experienced was not meaningless delay, but purposeful preparation. Now that season has reached its turning point. What once covered you like a heavy veil is being torn away. Doors that were once shut can no longer remain closed. I am opening paths you could not see before. And when they open, you will understand that it is not by your effort, but because my appointed time has come. As it is written, see, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Revelation 3:8. What I open does not require your striving to maintain. It is secured by my authority. Remember Joseph, who was cast into a pit, sold as an unknown, misunderstood, and imprisoned in darkness. To human eyes, his journey appeared to be a chain of failures, but in my plan, it was the path to elevation. And when the time came, in a single moment, he was called out of prison and stood before the king, entrusted with authority. As it is written, the king sent and released him. The ruler of people set him free. Psalm 105:20. Do you see? The years of being held back did not destroy him. They shaped him for the position he was about to enter. You as well, my beloved child, what you have gone through the seasons of being observed, the trials, the moments when you felt pressed down were not signs that you were overlooked, but signs that you were being prepared for something greater. And now, the transition is taking place. You are no longer standing in the position of one being tested. You are being placed in the position of one being entrusted. As it is written, whoever is faithful in little will also be faithful in much. Luke 16:10. Your faithfulness in the hidden place has opened the way for your elevation in the open. Do not be afraid when you sense this shift. When chains fall away, when doors open, when light enters places that were once dark, it may feel unfamiliar. But I tell you, this is not something foreign. It is your true nature being restored. You are not stepping into the new as one unworthy, but as one who has long been prepared. As it is written, you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, 1 Peter 2-9. This identity is not newly created, it is being restored. Therefore, walk with awareness. Do not return to the mindset of the past. Do not limit yourself by what has already been. When I lift you up, no one can bring you down if you stand firm in me. When I position you, no one can replace what I have ordained. As it is written, my purpose will stand, Isaiah 46:10. That purpose is at work in your life even now. Let your heart align with the rhythm of what I am doing. There is no need to rush, but neither should you hesitate. You are no longer in a season of waiting. You are in a season of stepping in. And as you move forward, you will realize that what I have prepared is not only sufficient, it exceeds what you have imagined. For I did not call you merely to exist. I called you to reveal my glory through your life. So now, rise, my beloved child, not as one who has just escaped bondage, but as one who has been given authority, not as one who has merely been forgiven, but as one who has been sent. What is ended no longer has the power to define you. What is beginning will now speak for you. And in every step you take, remember that I am with you, not only to guide you, but to affirm that you are walking in what has been ordained from before time began. My beloved child, open your heart to receive what I am speaking, for there are movements beyond time that are shaping your future. I am the one who holds all generations, and I tell you that my righteousness is not delayed as you once thought, nor is it limited by what your eyes can see. What you believed was lost, what you thought had passed beyond restoration, I am gathering again by my power not to return it in its former state, but to transform and elevate it into a new form. As it is written, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, Joel 2:25. Yet my restoration is not mere replacement. It is renewal with a glory greater than you have ever known. Do not expect the old things to return in the old ways. For what I am preparing for you no longer belongs to the former level. What comes after, my decree always carries the mark of kingship and is anointed with eternal purpose. I do not give you worn fragments. I place into your hands what has been refined through fire and shaped in the light of life. As it is written, every good and perfect gift is from above, James 1:17. And what comes from me lacks nothing, carries no defect, and is never temporary. Remember Elisha as he stood before Elijah was taken up. He did not ask for a small portion or something momentary. He asked for a double portion of his master's spirit. And when the mantle fell, it was not merely an object, but a sign of transferred authority. As it is written, Elisha picked up the cloak of Elijah, and the waters parted. 2 Kings 2:13-14. My child, what I am giving you is like this, not merely a gift, but a transfer. When you receive it, you will see what once seemed impossible become possible. not by your strength, but by what I have placed upon you. In the unseen realm, I am establishing what you will soon witness in the visible. Decisions are being sealed not by earthly means, but by an unbreakable covenant. What bears your name is not accidental. It is the result of a long process I have led you through. As it is written, "In him we have obtained an inheritance, according to his will." Ephesians 1:11. This inheritance is not something you seize. It is something I have ordained for you from the beginning. You may not yet understand everything I am doing, but I do not require your full understanding. I invite your trust. For when you trust, you step into the movement of what has already been appointed. And as you step forward, you will realize that what comes to you is not only sufficient for your life, but will overflow to those I place around you. As it is written, "You will be a blessing." Genesis 12:2. You are not called to contain, but to become a flow, my child. When what I give touches your life, you will sense a clear transformation not only outwardly, but deep within. Your heart will expand, your vision will be lifted, and your confidence will no longer rest on circumstances, but on my affirmation. You will know that you no longer live according to what has been, but according to what is being established. As it is written, "In all these things we are more than conquerors." Romans 8:37. Not because you were never tested, but because you overcame with me. Therefore, prepare your heart. Do not approach the new with an old mindset. Do not carry former limitations into a new space. When I open the way, step in with trust, with readiness, with humility, yet with full assurance. For what I am giving you is not merely a blessing, it is a responsibility, a mission, a calling. And when you look back, you will understand that everything that has happened, every loss, every waiting season, every trial was not to take from you, but to prepare you for something greater. Nothing is wasted in my hands. All things are gathered, transformed, and returned in a form of glory. Stand firm in this. My beloved child, the new season has begun, not with noise, but with authority, not with haste, but with certainty. And in this season, you will not only receive, you will operate. Not only be given, you will be sent. Not only be lifted, you will become a vessel through which I reveal my glory upon the earth. My beloved child, listen deeply, for now your name is no longer echoing in the conversations of the world, but is being proclaimed in the council of light, where all things are affirmed by eternal truth. You are no longer called by the labels of your past, no longer the misunderstood, the overlooked, or the mispositioned, but the one who has been vindicated, affirmed, and entrusted to step into what I have long prepared. I have seen the days you walked through, when you could have reacted but chose silence, when you could have harbored resentment but kept your heart soft, when you could have let go but held on to faith. As it is written, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Matthew 5:5. And it is that very meekness that has become the foundation upon which I now lift you. Therefore, I declare that the time of favor has come upon your life, not by chance, but as the result of the journey you have faithfully walked. The words once spoken over you, prophecies, the visions you have carried within have not been lost. They have been waiting for their appointed moment to rise. And now, as the rain of grace begins to fall, the seeds that seem dormant begin to awaken. As it is written, "My word will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." Isaiah 55:11. Every word I have spoken over you is now moving toward fulfillment. Do not be alarmed when you feel the shaking around you, for what is happening is not a sign of collapse. but of divine reordering. When my power moves, it always separates light from darkness, restoring boundaries that were once blurred. As it was written from the beginning, God separated the light from the darkness, Genesis 1-4. And I am doing the same in your life, separating you from what no longer belongs to you, so you may fully step into what is yours. Remember David when he was still a shepherd boy, overlooked by his brothers and forgotten when the king sought one to be anointed. Yet in the hidden place, I chose him, and when the oil was poured upon his head, a new process began, not immediate enthronement, but a journey toward the position appointed for him. As it is written, Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him, and the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day forward. 1 Samuel 16:13. My child, what I am doing in you is the same. The anointing comes before public recognition, yet it is a mark that cannot be reversed. Now you are being recognized not only as one who has been saved, but as one who has been sent. Your name is not merely preserved in the memory of heaven, it is being engraved into your mission. As it is written, Before I formed you in the womb I knew you. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Jeremiah 1-5. The calling upon your life did not begin today, but today it is being activated with greater clarity than ever before. And I am not only restoring what was wounded within you, I am placing upon you a new sign, a crown not of earthly status, but of spiritual responsibility. It is the union of justice and mercy, of authority and gentleness. For the one who truly carries authority is not the one who imposes, but the one who holds the balance between truth and love. As it is written, act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Micah 6-8. This is the very essence of what I am entrusting to you. Do not diminish what you have endured. The years in which you were misunderstood were not wasted. They became the foundation for you to understand others more deeply. The tears you have shed were not signs of weakness. They have become the anointing oil that enables you to reach other souls with genuine compassion. As it is written, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Psalm 56-8. Not a single tear has been lost. Each one is being used for a higher purpose. Therefore, enter this season with clear awareness. You are no longer in your former position. Do not return to seek validation from places that once failed to understand you. Do not reduce yourself to fit old limitations. When I open the way, step into it with faith and humility, yet without hesitation. As it is written, be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you. Joshua 1-9. Your courage does not come from yourself, but from my presence with you, my beloved child. What I am placing in your hands is not merely a blessing, it is a trust, not only an elevation, but a commissioning. And as you walk in this, you will see that everything I have promised will not only be fulfilled, it will exceed anything you have imagined. For I am not only restoring you, I am establishing you as a living instrument of light, so that through you, many others may find their way. My beloved child, listen with your whole soul, for the call you are sensing is not an illusion of emotion, but the touch of truth awakening you from within. I do not call you with the sounds of the world, but with the rhythm I placed in your heart from the beginning. When you hear that voice echoing like a whisper through your thoughts, like a quiet fire burning within your chest, it is the moment I am drawing you out of delay and into appointed time. As it is written, the hour is coming, and now is here. John 4:23. It is no longer a distant promise, but a reality unfolding before you. Do not be afraid of the changes you are sensing. When you feel something shifting, when what is familiar begins to slip from your hands, it is not loss, it is realignment. I cannot place the new into your hands if you are still clinging to what no longer belongs to you. As it is written, Forget the former things. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Isaiah 43:18-19. This new thing is not merely different, it is aligned with the identity you are stepping into. Understand that boundaries are being redrawn in your life, not by human will, but by my power. What was once blurred is now being distinguished. What was once hidden is now being brought into light. And in that process, you will see certain things being cut away, not because they are evil, but because they no longer fit the new season. As it is written, the word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword. Hebrews 4:12. That sword does not only destroy what is false, but separates what is true from what merely appears to be. Remember Abraham when I called him to leave his homeland, his familiarity, even the relationships that had shaped his life. He did not know where he was going, but he knew who was calling him. And through that obedience, a covenant was opened that exceeded all he could imagine. As it is written, by faith Abraham obeyed and went, not knowing where he was going. Hebrews 11:8. My child, your journey is the same, not built on full understanding, but on trust in the one who leads you. You may feel as though something is being taken from you, but I tell you the truth, nothing that truly belongs to you will be lost. What departs is only what no longer aligns with what I am establishing. For the restoration I bring is not about preserving everything, but about preserving what is right and removing what no longer produces life. As it is written, he prunes every branch so that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. The pruning is not punishment, it is preparation for growth. Now, keep your heart in holy stillness, not silence born of fear, but silence that allows you to perceive. For in that stillness, you will hear more clearly what I am speaking and see more clearly what I am opening before you. As it is written, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. That stillness is not emptiness, it is the place of revelation. I am calling you to rise not by your own strength, but by my affirmation. You do not need to prove yourself, for I have already validated you. You do not need to strive for recognition, for I have called you by name. And as you walk in this, you will come to understand that you are no longer defined by what has been, but by what is being established. As it is written, put on the new self, Ephesians 4:24. This new self is not an improved version of the old, but a being recreated in truth. My beloved child, this is not the end of a story, it is the beginning of a mission. When light is established, when boundaries are redrawn, when the old is cut away, that is when you are truly free to step fully into what I have ordained. And in that journey, you will not live for yourself alone, but become a pathway through which my light reaches others. Therefore, rise, step forward, not with hesitation, but with the awareness that I am with you in every step. What I have begun in you, I will bring to completion, and from this place, you will see that everything I have spoken is not merely words, they are life actively working within you. My beloved child, hold on to this with clarity and alertness, for what is happening is not random disruption, but the reordering of all things according to my purpose. When I allow shifts to occur around you, when people change position, when relationships are rearranged, when doors open and close unexpectedly, it is not a sign of disorder, but a sign that I am recalibrating the course of your life. You must understand this clearly. Not everything that was once close to you is meant to journey with you to the end, and not everything that once seemed distant is excluded from my plan. As it is written, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Proverbs 16:9. It is I who am repositioning everything. Therefore, when you see certain people gradually moving out of your sphere, Do not rush to grieve or hold them back. And when you see new people entering, do not be quick to doubt or close your heart. I am bringing the right people at the right time and removing what no longer aligns from your journey. There are doors you once knocked on tirelessly that never opened. Yet now they open with ease, and there are paths once familiar that are now closed, never to be returned to. Do not mourn them, for what I close is not to take from you, but to protect you from stepping into what no longer belongs to you. As it is written, what he shuts, no one can open, and what he opens, no one can shut. Revelation 3:7. That authority does not belong to man, it belongs to me. Remember the people of Israel standing before the Red Sea. Behind them was a pursuing past, before them an impossible path. But when I moved, the waters parted, and at the same time, the way back was closed. As it is written, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Do you see? When I open a new way, I also close the old, so that you do not return to the place I have delivered you from. But my child, with the light I give, there will always be a reaction from darkness. When your identity is restored, old voices may attempt to return and test you. Doubts, memories, familiar emotions, they may surface, not because they still have authority, but because they are losing it. As it is written, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. You do not need to fear those voices. You only need to stand firm in the truth. Do not confuse attack with training. You are no longer in the position of being struck down. You are in the position of being refined. I am allowing you to pass through these moments, not so that you fail, but so that you recognize the authority I have placed within you. Like gold tested in fire, you are being purified to become stronger and more defined. As it is written, your faith, more precious than gold, tested by fire. 1 Peter 1:7. What I am doing is not to destroy you, but to perfect you. Remember Daniel when he was thrown into the lion's den. It was not his end, but the stage upon which my power was revealed. When he stood firm in faith, the mouths of the lions were shut, and what was meant to destroy him became evidence of my protection. As it is written, my God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. Daniel 6:22. My child, the trials you face are not there to devour you, but to reveal that I am with you. So do not be alarmed when everything around you begins to change. Do not cling to what I am removing. Do not return to doors I have already closed. Walk forward gently, yet decisively. Trust that I know exactly what I am doing. You do not need to understand everything. You need to trust completely. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3-5, 6. My beloved child, I am watching you not to judge you, but to strengthen you. I observe how you respond, not to grade you, but to increase the authority within you. When you stand firm in trials, when you choose faith instead of fear, when you release instead of cling, that is when you step deeper into what I have ordained. Therefore, guard your heart and remain steadfast. Do not let the noise of the world distract you, and do not allow challenges to cause you to doubt. You are no longer where you once were. You are in the process of being lifted, and as you continue forward, you will see that everything I have allowed is leading you into the very place I prepared, a position that cannot be replaced, cannot be taken away, because it is established by me. My beloved child, come closer and let your heart be still, for I see every fracture within you, the marks left by years of being misunderstood, overlooked, and set aside while you were striving to remain upright. I do not turn away from those wounds. I touch them, And when I touch, I do not merely heal, I transform. I declare over you that what once caused you pain will become a mark of authority. As it is written, my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. So where you once saw fragility, I see a doorway through which my glory will be revealed. Understand this, no journey that I anoint is without the marks of faithfulness. The scars you carry are not evidence of failure, but proof that you did not give up. As it is written, they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Revelation 12:11. The life you have lived through tears, through silence, through faith is becoming a testimony that prepares the way for your mission. A crown is not placed upon those who have never bowed. It rests upon those who have walked through the fire without losing their heart. Remember Jacob in the night he wrestled with the Holy One. He did not leave as he came. He carried a wound in his hip, a limp in his walk, yet at the same time, he received a new name and a new blessing. As it is written, your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel. Genesis 32:28. My child, that touch did not weaken him, it marked him as belonging to me. In the same way, the marks upon your life do not diminish you. They identify you in the spiritual realm as one who remained to the end. Now I am placing within your spirit a new covenant not written in words your eyes can read, but in a deep knowing your soul can perceive. What I write is not a list of tasks for you to accomplish, but the essence of who you are called to become. For mission does not begin with action, it begins with identity. As it is written, whoever abides in me bears much fruit. John 15:5. What matters is not how much you do, but how deeply you remain in me. Do not seek a position to be seen, for what I entrust to you is not found in places elevated for human attention. I am sending you into spaces often overlooked, into hearts that are dry, into places that are cold and in need of warmth, into souls that are fractured and longing for healing. You are not called to impress, you are called to carry life. As it is written, you are the salt of the earth, the light of the world. Matthew 5:13-14. Salt does not need to be seen to bring change, and light does not argue to give illumination. Therefore, do not measure your worth by outward recognition. What I am doing through you will not always be applauded, but it will always leave an imprint. When you touch a heart and bring peace, when you speak a word and sow hope, when your presence brings rest to a weary soul, that is where your mission is being fulfilled. As it is written, whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did for me. Matthew 25-40. Every act born from love carries eternal value. My beloved child, receive what I have placed within you through stillness, not through haste. Let your breath align with my rhythm, so that you discern your path not by reasoning alone, but by inner leading. What I write is not on paper, it is inscribed within your spirit, living, moving, and guiding you step by step. And remember this, I did not choose you because you are flawless, but because you are willing, not because you have never been broken, but because you allowed me to touch those broken places. What you have gone through has not diverted you from my plan, it has formed you for it. So do not hide your scars. Let them speak of my faithfulness in your life. Now rise with a renewed awareness. You are no longer one who carries wounds, you are one who carries a mark. You are no longer defined by your past. You are identified by my word over you. And from this place, you will walk not in search of meaning, but in the act of giving life, for I am within you. And through you, I will reach places where light has long been forgotten. My beloved child, engrave this deeply within the innermost place of your soul. Authority that is not anchored in humility will become chains that bind the one who carries it. and a mission separated from compassion will grow cold like a sword stripped of the breath of life. Therefore, when I place you into a new position, I do not merely give you authority, I also pour out grace upon you to sustain that authority in love. When you stand in the light, do not let your heart rise in pride, bow low. For the light you carry does not come from you, but from me. When you are lifted in the eyes of others, remember that the only voice that truly defines you is mine. And when you see others stumble, do not rush to judge. For even the strongest warriors in the spiritual realm do not condemn on their own authority, as it is written. Michael, the archangel, said, "The Lord rebuke you." Jude 1:9. This is not weakness, but the understanding of where true authority comes from. My child, what I have placed in your hands is not a privilege for self-exaltation, but a covenant that calls you to live worthy of the light you carry. Every word you speak is no longer weightless. It carries substance. It echoes in the unseen realm. When you speak blessing, you open pathways for grace to move. When you forgive, you loosen chains no one else can see. When you love, you push back darkness without striving. As it is written, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. Your lips are no longer ordinary, they are instruments of life or instruments of destruction. Therefore, I do not only desire that you speak correctly, I desire that you speak with light words that carry illumination. Words that flow from your union with me. Remember Moses when he stood before the rock in the wilderness. When he spoke according to my will, water flowed to sustain the people, but when he allowed his emotions to lead, his action distorted what I had intended. Do you see? A single act, a single word. You can release life or disrupt the flow of grace. As it is written, speak to the rock, and it will yield its water. Numbers 20:8. What I seek is not merely outcomes, but alignment, your words and actions moving in harmony with my will. Therefore, my beloved child, walk with holy attentiveness, not in fear, but in awareness. You are living in a season where your words carry greater weight. Your actions echo farther, and your influence reaches deeper than before. This is not to place pressure upon you, but to awaken you. For I have placed upon you a mark, not a sign for display, but evidence that you belong to me. As it is written, do not grieve the Holy Spirit, by whom you were sealed. Ephesians 4:30. That seal cannot be erased, but it can be obscured if you do not keep your heart in the light. Now receive what I declare over you as a river being opened. The season of concealment has ended, and the season of revealing has begun. You no longer need to prove who you are, for what I have placed within you will reveal itself. You no longer stand in a place of evaluation, but in a place of commissioning. As it is written, go into all the world, Mark 16:15. The sending does not wait for your perfection, it responds to your willingness. Look at David as he stepped forward to face Goliath, not with the pride of strength, but with the conviction of one who knows he belongs to me. He did not wear another's armor, nor rely on the experience of men, but declared, I come to you in the name of the Lord, 1 Samuel 17:45. This is what I desire you to carry, not image, not reputation, but my name upon your lips and within your heart. My beloved child, a new season has opened before you, not with noise, but with quiet authority that cannot be denied. The closing of old doors is not to leave you lost, but to compel you into the new gate I have opened. You no longer need to seek validation from people, for I have already affirmed you. You no longer need to strive for recognition, for my mark is upon you. So rise with a renewed posture. Lift your hands, not in display, but in humble union with me. Speak to me from your heart, not in formula, but in truth. Father, I receive what you are placing upon my life, not with pride, but with surrender before you. I choose to walk not for recognition, but in love. Teach me to carry truth without wounding, to carry power without losing compassion. Let me live as one restored, as a warrior sent, and as a worshiper in every circumstance. And when you speak in this way, it is not because I need to hear it, but because you are aligning yourself with what I have already declared. From that moment forward, you will walk no longer as one searching, but as one who has received, and in every step, my light will go with you, affirm you, and through you, reach places where the world has long forgotten how to carry life. My beloved child, let your soul grow still in this very moment. For what I am doing is no longer a distant promise, it is a living reality unfolding within you. From the depths, I declare that you no longer stand at the edge of endurance, but have stepped into the position of one who carries authority in the very places that once tested you. You are no longer merely passing through the fire to survive, you are standing firm within it. Unharmed, like the three who walked in the furnace long ago, they were not consumed, but preserved by my presence. As it is written, I see 4 men walking in the fire, and they are not hurt. Daniel 3:25. This is your picture now, not alone, not threatened, but covered by my power. From this point forward, you will not seek my voice as one standing at a distance, for I am placing my word within your mouth and my breath within your every rhythm of life. When you speak in union with me, it is no longer merely your voice, it is the current of truth flowing through you. As it is written, it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Matthew 10:20. So do not fear. When you speak, only remain anchored in me. Remember Ezekiel when I led him into the valley of dry bones and asked, can these bones live? When he obeyed and spoke according to my word, life returned, breath entered, and an army rose. As it is written, prophesy, and they shall live. Ezekiel 37:4-5. My child, what I have placed within you carries that same power, not to display, but to restore, not to impress, but to bring life into what has been depleted. I go before you, preparing the path for every step you will take. You are not required to carve the way by your own strength, for I have already established the ground you will walk upon. And at the same time, I am within you, causing every breath you take to carry the imprint of heaven. As it is written, I in them and you in me, John 17:23. This union is no longer something you seek, it is something you now live. Now look at the space I have placed you in, a stillness that is not empty, but filled with presence. This is where every noise of the past has fallen silent. Every accusation has dissolved, and only one echo remains. Glory belongs to me. You do not need to search for words to respond, for even your silence becomes worship when you remain in me. As it is written, in quietness and trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. You will feel this shift clearly. What once weighed you down becomes light. What once caused pain is now illuminated by healing. This is not something you achieve on your own. It is my breath flowing through you, like living water moving through dry ground. As it is written, whoever believes in me, rivers of living water will flow from within them. John 7:38. That river is flowing within you even now. My beloved child, understand this deeply. There is no longer a distance between you and me as you once imagined. You are not standing below. Looking upward, you are within my presence, and I am within you. This is not imagination. It is a spiritual reality you are invited to live in each day. When you walk from this place, You do not carry a memory, you carry my presence itself. So go, but go in rest. Step forward, but step in awareness. You do not need to hurry, for what I have opened will not be closed. You do not need to fear, for I have gone before you, and in every step you will discover that you no longer live as one seeking light, you are carrying light. From this moment on, your life will no longer be a story of survival, but a manifestation. No longer a journey of striving, but a flow of presence. And through you, dark places will be illuminated, and dry souls will be refreshed, because you carry within you the breath of the King, the one who has called you, placed you, and will walk with you to the very end. My beloved child, let this settle deep within your spirit. The authority I give does not rest in visible positions or earthly thrones, but in the presence of my Spirit dwelling within you. When you grasp this, you will no longer search for a place to stand, for you have become the place where I dwell. As it is written, you are God's temple and God's Spirit dwells in you. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Wherever you go, that presence goes with you unchanged, inseparably, undiminished. Your mission is not a list of tasks to accomplish, but a living flow of me moving through you. It does not begin when you act. It begins when you abide. When your heartbeat aligns with mine, you will understand that everything you do is simply the expression of what you are becoming. As it is written, it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose. Philippians 2:13. You do not need to strain to become. You need only yield to what I am already doing within you. Remember Moses when he stood before the burning bush that was not consumed. The fire burned, yet it did not destroy. It gave light without consuming. This is the image of what I am placing within you, a living fire, warm and radiant, yet not harmful to you. As it is written, the angel of the Lord appeared in a flame of fire, Exodus 3:2. And from that place, I called him into his mission. So it is with you. The fire within you is not to destroy, but to illuminate, to purify, and to prepare you as a vessel for what I have ordained. You were not chosen because you reached a certain standard, but because I chose to love you and place my light within you. As it is written, you did not choose me, but I chose you. John 15:16. This choosing is not based on merit, but on my purpose. Therefore, you do not need to lift yourself up. You are called to lift me up through your life. Now, as you recognize that you and I are no longer separate, a conviction will rise within you, not loud, but steady like a firm foundation. It is the knowing that you do not walk alone. You do not live by your own strength, but you live in union. As it is written, I am in my Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. John 14:20. That union is the foundation of everything you will do. Behold, the light I am placing upon you, it does not seek attention. It does not strive to prove itself. Yet it carries a quiet authority that cannot be denied. When this light touches you, it does not merely rest upon the surface, it penetrates deeply, rising into every place you once feared, every corner you once concealed. As it is written, the blood of Jesus purifies us from all sin. 1 John 1:7. The cleansing you now experience is not temporary, but a renewal from the very root of your being. From that moment, you become one who carries the fragrance of heaven, not through loud words, but through a presence that is gentle yet powerful. You do not need to strive to influence. You need only remain faithful where I have placed you. As it is written, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Matthew 5-9. Wherever you go, peace will follow, not because you manufacture it, but because you carry its source within you. My beloved child, the season of darkness in your life has come to a close. This does not mean darkness no longer exists, but it no longer has the authority to define you. The light does not come from outside to shine upon you, it is rising from within you. As it is written, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1-5. The light you carry cannot be extinguished. Do not argue to prove that you are right. Do not strive to explain yourself to be accepted. Your presence when you abide in me is already the evidence that I am at work. What once stood against you is no longer an obstacle. It has become the very platform that lifts you into a new place. As it is written, all things work together for good for those who love God. Romans 8:28. Nothing in your past has been wasted. Walk forward in this deep peace. There is no need to rush, and no need to fear. You are no longer one who seeks the light, you are one who carries it. And with every step you take, you will see that what I have begun in you will not only transform you, but will touch those around you, opening doors they have never seen, and illuminating places they believed would remain in darkness forever. For I am in you, and you are in me, and this is true authority, true mission, true life that nothing can alter. Stand firm, my beloved child, in what I am placing upon you. You no longer walk merely as one forgiven, but as one entrusted. This difference is not found in outward appearance, but in the deep awareness within your soul. You know that you belong to me, and you know that I am moving through you. Therefore, every step you take is no longer uncertain. It carries the imprint of heavenly authority. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Romans 10:15. That beauty is not in form, but in what you carry, the good news of life. Do not be afraid when you step through the doors opening before you. Some are doors you once longed for, others you never imagined, but all are arranged by me. You do not need to understand everything behind each door. You need only step forward with faith and peace. As it is written, the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds. Philippians 4-7. That peace is your confirmation that you are moving in the right direction, even when the path is not yet fully clear. Remember Peter when he stepped out of the boat in the midst of the waves. What sustained him was not calm waters, but his gaze fixed on me. When he looked at the circumstances, he began to sink. But when he looked to me, he walked upon what seemed impossible. As it is written, come, Matthew 14:29. That call still reaches you now, not so that you may prove something, but so that you may walk in trust. My beloved child, live as one who knows you have already been affirmed. Do not carry the weight of resentment, for resentment dims the light you carry. Release what once wounded you, not because it did not matter, but because it no longer has the authority to define you. As it is written, forgive as God in Christ forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. Forgiveness does not only free others, it frees you to walk forward unburdened. The world does not need more noise. My child, it needs souls that carry light, lives whose very presence brings peace. That is what I am forming within you. You do not need to strive to shine. Abide in me, and the light will flow naturally. As it is written, let your light shine before others. Matthew 5:16. That light is not for your recognition, but for my glory. Now look back upon the path you have walked. None of your pain was without purpose. The tears you have shed were not wasted. They softened the soil of your heart so that what I planted could take root. The silence you endured was not emptiness. It created space for my voice to be heard more clearly. As it is written, those who sow in tears shall reap with joy. Psalm 126:5. That harvest is no longer distant. It is already beginning within you. Remember Joseph, who walked through betrayal, imprisonment, and deep misunderstanding. Yet those very experiences became the foundation that positioned him to preserve many lives. When he looked back, he no longer saw only pain, he saw my design. As it is written, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 50:20. So it is with you. What once rose against you is now being transformed into the very steps that lift you higher. My beloved child, you now stand in a light that is no longer hidden. You do not need to prove who you are, for your presence itself bears witness. You do not need to pursue human validation, for I have already sealed you. As it is written, "The Lord knows those who are his." 2 Timothy 2:19. That knowing is your unshakable foundation, one that no force can overturn. Continue forward in this peace. No more fear. No more hesitation. There is now within you a new current, a flow of grace, of life, of restoration. And this flow will not end with you. It will extend beyond you, touching generations after you, shaping a new inheritance not bound by the past, but formed by truth. So go, my beloved child. Go with gentleness, yet with strength. Go with compassion, yet anchored in truth. Walk as one who knows they are loved, chosen, and sent. And in every step you take, you will see that the light does not only guide you, it will, through you, call others back to me, back to life, back to the place where they truly belong. My beloved child, let your heart rest within the light that now surrounds you. For what you are sensing is not a passing emotion, but a new positioning I am establishing within your soul. The season of authority has opened, not with the noise of the world, but with my breath flowing through you, gentle, yet powerful, quiet, yet unshakable. You do not need to see with your eyes to know it is real, for your spirit bears witness. As it is written, the Spirit himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children, Romans 8:16. The affirmation you now carry does not come from outside, it rises from within, from me. Now you no longer stand before me as one under judgment, but as one who has received. What once caused you to tremble at the thought of judgment has now been transformed by love. I no longer sit before you as a judge to condemn, but as a father with open arms welcoming you home. As it is written in the story of the prodigal son, while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. Luke 15:20. This is the picture of what is happening between you and me. No distance, no barrier, only complete restoration. My beloved child, from this moment on, you no longer live striving to survive, you live to shine. You no longer wait for miracles as something distant, for your very life has become evidence that miracles are real. When you walk in union with me, every word you speak and every action you take carries the tone of heaven, gentle, steady, and full of love. As it is written, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. In me, there is no place for fear, only fullness. Remember John, when he beheld the vision of my glory. He fell as though dead before my holiness. Yet I placed my hand upon him and said, "Do not be afraid." Revelation 1:17. Do you see? My presence is not meant to destroy you, but to lift you. And now, you no longer fall in fear. You stand in that light, because you have been transformed to carry it. The light I place upon you is not merely a covering, it is a positioning. It is like the robe I placed upon Joseph when he was lifted from the lowest place into authority. It is no longer a promise of what will come, but a reality of what is happening as it is written, "Behold, I make all things new." Revelation 21:5. This newness is not waiting for the future. It is forming within your every breath even now. You will begin to see that everything I have spoken over your life has not been delayed, but has been taking root in depths you could not previously see. The promises do not simply return. They become part of who you are. Your mission is no longer something you search for. It is something you live. As it is written, "The righteous shall live by faith." Romans 1:17. Each step you take is no longer an experiment, but an expression of what you believe. My beloved child, remain in this peace. This peace does not come from circumstances, but from union. It is deeper than words, stronger than time, and so real that all doubt must fall silent. When you stand in this light, you will no longer need to explain who you are. You will simply know this: you live to reflect me. As it is written, "Whoever abides in me bears much fruit." John 15:5. And that fruit is the manifestation of my presence through you. So walk forward in this awareness. No rushing, no fear. You are no longer searching for a position. You are living in the position I have placed you. You are no longer searching for light. You are carrying light. And in every step, you will discover that victory is not found in overcoming others, but in fully belonging to me. This is the complete victory. My beloved child, the victory of a surrendered heart, a restored soul, and a life that reflects the glory of the one who has called you home. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not merely a listener. You are chosen to live in the presence of God's Word each day. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss any spiritual messages. Amen. My beloved child, in the hurried current of clashing voices that fill your life, I call you to pause, not to make you afraid, but to draw you into a deeper listening beyond anything your ears have grown accustomed to. There is a sound that does not come from this world, not bound by distance or time. It is a call from the depths of heaven, a whisper, both gentle and urgent, reaching into the very core of your soul. I do not speak to make you tremble, but to awaken you. For there are things approaching you that do not appear as obvious danger, yet carry subtle tests within them. As it is written, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches." Revelation 2:7. You are being invited not merely to hear with natural ears, but to perceive with the spiritual sensitivity I have stirred within you. And in this very season, I tell you plainly, not everything that appears good truly comes from me. You are entering a phase where the very things you long for most, connection, understanding, love, become the ground of your deepest testing. There will be those who enter your life with gentle eyes, warm words, and what seems like sincere care. Yet, my child, not all gentleness carries truth. As it is written, Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. So do not be surprised when darkness no longer comes in frightening forms, but cloaks itself in beauty that easily opens your heart. I am not asking you to close your heart, but to open it rightly, not led by fleeting emotion, but by my guidance. My beloved, this is not a season of suspicion, but a season of discernment. I do not desire you to become distant or hardened, but to become clear-sighted. Some relationships are sent to lift you up, to reflect the light I have placed within you, yet others appear to test your heart, to reveal whether you will listen to my voice or follow your emotions. I declare to you that your growth is no longer forged in isolation, but within your daily interactions in ordinary conversations, in the glances and words you receive. As it is written, guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. Proverbs 4:20. 23. So I am teaching you not to withdraw from people, but to protect the center of your soul. Remember the story of Jacob when he met Rachel at the well. His heart was drawn instantly, and that love seemed pure and powerful. Yet, my child, within that journey, he encountered deception through Laban, who used the very desire Jacob cherished to test him. Jacob believed he was receiving what he longed for, yet he was led into a prolonged process of refinement. Still, I did not abandon him. I used those very circumstances to shape him, to deepen his faith, and to transform his identity. Do you see? Even when you find yourself in unclear relationships, I am still at work not to harm you, but to teach you how to discern, how to stand firm, and how not to give your heart unconsciously. Therefore, my child, when someone says, "I love you," do not listen with your ears alone, but discern with the soul I have trained within you. True love does not steal your peace, does not require you to compromise truth, and does not pull you away from me. Love that comes from me leads you into life, into freedom, into growth. As it is written, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Galatians 5:22. So, look at the fruit, not merely the words. If what you receive brings unrest to your soul, causes you to question the value I have placed within you, then it is not something I have sent. I am teaching you something deeper than merely recognizing people. I am teaching you to recognize me. When you learn to distinguish my voice among countless others, you will no longer be led astray by appearances or fleeting emotions. Just as a shepherd calls his flock and the sheep recognize his voice, John 10:4. So you will come to discern my voice, even in the midst of words that sound sweet yet carry no substance. From that place, you will no longer live reactively, but be guided steadily by my leading. Understand this: I have not placed you within these tests so that you would fail, but so that you would be lifted into a higher level of awareness. You are no longer a child carried away by every emotion, but one I am training to stand firm in truth. I have not removed you from the world. Instead, I have positioned you within it with eyes that are opened. And there, you will learn what is most precious, to trust me more than you trust what you feel. So, my beloved, do not be afraid when you begin to see that certain things are not as you once believed. This is not loss, it is protection. This is not disappointment, it is deliverance. I am guarding you from bonds you cannot yet see and leading you into connections that truly carry life. Stay close to me. Listen for my voice, and walk in the peace I give you, for when you walk with me, no deception will be able to hold you, and no darkness will be able to blind you. My beloved child, even before you fully realized it, your heart has always been an open garden, a place where you sow hope and long for gentle connection with others. I know that you do not love superficially, you love deeply, with sincerity that does not hide itself. And because of that, I have not come to make you withdraw, but to teach you how to guard what is precious. Love is not a door flung open to all, but a sacred gate watched over by discernment that comes from me. As it is written, guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. Proverbs 4:23. So I am not stopping you from loving, but teaching you to love in the light, not in the haste of emotion. There will be moments when someone appears to come close very quickly, as though they have been waiting for you, as though they understand what you have never spoken aloud. They will carry empathy, words that make you feel seen and deeply understood. And in that moment, you may believe you have found something right. But, my child, I ask you, why does your heart feel heavy afterward? Why? After conversations that seem healing, do you find yourself drifting from the peace you once held? As it is written, the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and open to reason. James 3:17. So anything that does not preserve that peace within you is something you must pause and examine more deeply. I am not saying that those people carry ill intent. Not everyone who leaves you feeling weary is evil. Yet not every soul is aligned with the rhythm of light I have placed within you. Some enter your life not to remain, but to awaken within you a discernment you had never needed before. And you must understand this. Not every outward harmony is true alignment. There are voices that touch your emotions but never reach your spirit. There are connections that stir your feelings but do not lead you into life. Remember the moment when the prophet Elijah met the widow at Zarephath. When he arrived, she was in utter lack, holding only a handful of flour and a little oil for what she believed would be her final meal. Yet when Elijah spoke, his words did not merely touch her fear, they reached her faith. And from that place, the miracle unfolded. Do you see? Words that come from me do more than comfort. They lead you into abundance, into sustainability, into life that endures. In contrast, words that only stir emotion cannot nourish your soul for long. As it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Matthew 4:4. So you must learn to discern the source of what you are receiving. My beloved, the sign is not found in what they say at the beginning, but in what remains after they leave. If you find yourself striving to maintain a connection, if you begin to lose clarity, if your heart no longer rests in the stillness it once had with me, know that this is a gentle warning I am giving you. I do not rebuke you for opening your heart. I am teaching you when to close it. Not everyone is permitted to touch the deepest place within you, the place where I have set my presence. Just as the shepherd calls his sheep and they recognize his voice, John 10:27, you must learn to recognize mine among countless others. There are voices that will move you instantly, but my voice will steady you over time. There are connections that intoxicate you, but my leading will anchor you in unshakable peace. And I declare this, you are not called to chase every stirring, but to walk in what I confirm. So do not grieve when you realize certain connections cannot continue. This is not loss, it is protection. I am keeping you from giving away parts of your soul before their time. I am guarding you from unseen ties that could delay the path I have set before you. Above all, I am teaching you this. True love never pulls you away from me. It always draws you closer. Trust that what I am preparing for you will not require you to sacrifice your peace in order to keep it. What comes from me will not exhaust you as you remain in it. And when you learn to distinguish between the voice of emotion and the voice of your Father, you will walk without hesitation, grounded in a deep certainty, because you know who is leading you. My beloved child, before you could fully understand what is unfolding in your life, I had already seen the depth of your heart, a heart that is tender, open, and ready to give without calculation. And because of that, I have not come to close you off, but to teach you how to guard what is precious. There are doors that do not need to be shut, but they must be watched, and that watchman is the discernment I am placing within you. As it is written, guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. Proverbs 4:23. So I am not taking away your capacity to love, I am refining it, bringing it into order, so that it will not be confused between true light and what merely appears to be light. While you believe you are simply moving through ordinary relationships, I see a greater picture, a transition you are stepping into. This is not an extension of an old season, but the opening of a new one, where your heart must be undivided. unburdened by misaligned attachments. For as you move into the breakthrough I have ordained, resistance will no longer come in obvious forms. It will not confront you through open opposition, but will weave itself into what feels closest to you: relationships, expressions of care, connections that appear healing. As it is written, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Matthew 7:15. So I am teaching you to discern, not with natural sight, but through the awakened vigilance of your spirit. My child, true love will never lead you astray. It will not demand that you exchange your peace in order to preserve it, nor will it cause you to question the value I have placed within you. Love that comes from me does not bind, manipulate, or drain you. It lifts you, clarifies you, and draws you closer to me. As it is written, the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. So anything that carries the name of love, yet leaves your soul burdened, is not a blessing, but a form of bondage disguised as care. I do not want you to confuse the two, for the cost of such confusion is not only pain, but delay in your journey. Remember the story of Samson, who was given great strength even before his birth. Yet, in his relationship with Delilah, he opened his heart in the wrong place and revealed what was meant to be protected. Delilah did not come against him with weapons, but with gentle words and closeness that earned his trust. Step by step, he was led into the loss of his strength. Do you see? The enemy does not need to destroy you all at once. It only needs you to open the door to the wrong person, and the rest will unfold on its own. I do not remind you of this to instill fear, but to awaken discernment, for you are not called to repeat that pattern, but to learn from it. There were nights when you cried out to me, asking, Father, why do people keep coming and going? Why do I trust and then get hurt? Today I answer you not with rebuke, but with light. It is not because you are weak, but because you are being taught. I am leading you deeper, not to focus only on behavior, but to perceive the spiritual root behind every connection. For if you continue to look only at the surface, you will repeat the same cycles. But when you begin to see the source, you will walk in freedom. As it is written, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. John 8:32. So, what I am doing is not to isolate you from people, but to release you from invisible bonds that have held you back. My beloved child, there are hands that will reach out to you in this season. They will not come to destroy you in an obvious way, but to exchange, subtly taking your focus, redirecting your attention, and gradually pulling you away from my voice without you realizing it. They will carry words that sound wise, yet lead you into dependence. They will offer presence, yet obscure my presence within you. And I, as your Father, cannot remain silent when I see you standing before such choices. I am not pulling you away from people, but I am calling you back to your center, the place where you hear me more clearly than anyone else. Understand this deeply. The enemy does not attack your heart through hatred, but through false empathy. It does not use those who are entirely different from you, but those who seem similar in thought, similar in feeling, to create a false sense of familiarity. And within that familiarity, it plants seeds of doubt, causing you to question yourself, your journey, and my voice. But, my child, when you remain close to me, you will recognize this: anything that draws you away from me, no matter how beautiful it appears, does not come from me. So do not be afraid when you begin to see more clearly. This is not loss, it is growth. I am opening your eyes so that you are no longer led by fleeting emotions, but by enduring truth. And in this journey, you will not become hardened. Instead, you will love more deeply, but in the right place. You will give, yet not lose yourself. You will connect, yet not become bound. Remain in me, my beloved, for when you abide in me, no deception will be able to hold you for long, and no misaligned connection will be able to take what I have prepared for you. I am preparing you not merely to love, but to love in truth, in freedom, and in a light that cannot be extinguished. My beloved child, in the quiet spaces you call loneliness, I am doing a deep work that your eyes have not yet fully seen. Do not be quick to call separation a loss, for often it is in the absence of others that my presence becomes most clear. You fear the emptiness, but I tell you this, to stand alone in the light is safer than to be surrounded in a crowd where your soul is entangled in what is not true. As it is written, better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. Proverbs 21:19. This does not teach you to reject people, but to choose environments that nurture life. I am not removing you to weaken you. I am clearing space so you can receive what is new. Everything I cut away from your life is not due to a lack of mercy, but because I see what you cannot yet see, subtle ties that could cause you to stumble, just as blessing approaches. While you think you are losing, I am preparing. The season ahead is not like the ones you have known. It requires a heart that is unbound, a spirit that is not clouded by mistimed connections. If you carry what does not belong to this journey, it will become a hindrance when you step into what I have appointed. As it is written, every branch in me that does not bear fruit he takes away, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. So, pruning is not a sign of abandonment, but evidence that you are being prepared for increase. I am not diminishing your life. I am bringing it into divine order. Understand also that in this phase, I am not only changing what surrounds you, but training how you perceive. You will no longer live merely by logic or emotion, but by a deeper awareness, a spiritual frequency that the Spirit is awakening within you. When someone comes near, you will not only hear what they say, but sense what operates behind their words. There are presences that open your heart in peace, and there are presences that dim the light within you even while their words remain sweet. As it is written, the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds. Philippians 4:7. So, when that peace withdraws, it is not a small thing. It is a signal I am giving you to pause and discern. My beloved child, I speak to you not only with the gentleness of a father, but with the clarity of one who is leading you into battle. Do not allow your kindness to become your weakness. Compassion is a gift I have placed within you, but without discernment, it can be exploited. Mercy is strength, but without boundaries, it becomes a burden that will exhaust you. As it is written, be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Matthew 10:16. So I am not asking you to stop loving, but to love wisely. Help others, but do not let them control you. Give, but do not offer what I have not led you to release. Stand beside others, but never lose your center, which is me. What is breaking apart around you is not a sign of abandonment, but of purification. I am allowing what is not true to fall away so that what is true may stand firm. Do not cling to what I am loosening. Do not try to rescue what I am withdrawing from. For if you hold on to what I have removed my blessing from, you will place yourself outside the flow I am leading you in. As it is written, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Proverbs 14:12. So I am calling you to trust not your immediate feelings, but my enduring guidance. Be still, my child, and do not argue with the process I am unfolding. Not everything you lose requires immediate explanation. Some separations can only be understood once you have passed through them. You are in the midst of a refining, a process in which everything not aligned with the light will gradually fall away. Those who are not for your season will depart, not because they are evil, but because they are not anointed for where you are going. And when the dust settles, you will see clearly who carries true light, and who only reflects a false one. I say this again to you with the deep urgency of a father who loves you. Do not confuse kindness with calling. Not everyone you love is meant for you to keep. Not everyone you help is meant for you to walk with. I am teaching you discernment to guard the three most sacred things within you: your soul, your calling, and the authority I have entrusted to you. For when the season of restoration arrives, and it is drawing near, only those who have learned to stand in discernment will be able to hold the blessing without losing themselves. So trust me, even in what you do not yet understand. When I separate you, it is not an ending. It is preparation for the place where nothing will be able to make you stumble. I am not keeping you from love, but from what only pretends to be love. And when the real thing comes, you will not question it, for your soul will recognize it immediately in the deep peace that only I can give. My beloved child, when I raise my voice in warning, it is not to plant suspicion within you, but to expand the vision of your soul. I am inviting you to go deeper, not through the analysis of your mind, but through spiritual sight that has been washed in my light. For only when that light touches you will you begin to see clearly what was once hidden. As it is written, the lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. Matthew 6:22. So I am not merely adjusting your circumstances, but purifying your perception, so you are no longer deceived by what is only beautiful on the surface. In this world, you will encounter many expressions that resemble love, gentle words, caring actions, gestures that make you feel valued. But my child, I tell you truthfully, not all softness comes from me. There are things that wear the garment of love, yet beneath them are invisible cords seeking to pull you away from the center where I hold you. That is why I am teaching you not only to hear with your ears, but to discern with your spirit. When a word touches you, do not simply receive it, bring it before me. Ask, Father, what is the source of this? As it is written, test the spirits to see whether they are from God. 1 John 4:1. So, discernment is not suspicion, it is maturity. My beloved, true love always begins in freedom. It does not force, bend, or require you to diminish yourself in order to keep it. It gives you space to grow, to become whole in me. But false love, no matter how refined, always carries a desire to possess. It seeks to make you dependent, to ensure you need it, to draw you toward it before you come to me. It may sit with you in your weakness, weep with you, and speak words that make you feel understood, but it does not lead you back to me. It does not lift you up, and it does not desire you to stand firm. As it is written, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. So anything that robs you of that freedom is not from me. Remember the moment when David spared Saul's life in the cave. He had the opportunity to end his pursuit, yet he chose not to act beyond what I had permitted. In that moment, he did not respond from emotion, but from reverence and a deep awareness of the source behind his actions. Do you see? Not every opportunity is permission. Not everything that comes near is meant for you to take hold of. David understood that what comes from me will never require you to violate the peace and guidance within. And you must learn this as well, when to step forward and when to step back, not out of fear, but because you are listening to me, my beloved child. There are forms of false love that do not come to destroy you immediately, but to keep you at a place of immaturity. They may support you, yet do not want you to become strong. They stay close to you, yet do not want you to stand firmly on your own in me. They create a sense of attachment, but do not lead to true transformation. And over time, if you do not recognize it, you will begin to rely on it, seek it, and unknowingly place it in a position that belongs to me alone. As it is written, "You shall have no other gods before me," Exodus 20:3. So anything that takes the central place in your heart, no matter what name it carries, must be rightly aligned again. I do not say this to make you afraid of love, but to teach you to love rightly. I am not removing your capacity to connect, but refining it so that it becomes pure and strong. When you learn to ask me before opening your heart, you will no longer be drawn into relationships that drain you. When you learn to discern the source, you will no longer be led by fleeting emotion. And when you remain in me, you will realize that true love does not need to prove itself through urgency, does not need to be maintained through strain, and never pulls you away from my voice. So, my beloved, slow down when you feel drawn. Listen when your heart begins to stir. And above all, return to me in everything. For when you ask me, I will answer not through noise, but through a deep clarity that cannot be imitated. I am teaching you not only to look, but to see, not only to hear, but to understand, not only to love, but to love in truth. And as you walk in this, no deception will be able to hold you, and no misaligned love will be able to replace what I have ordained for you. My beloved child, when footsteps leave your life, do not let your heart interpret it as abandonment. I never remove in order to leave you empty. I clear space so you may be filled. Every departure is not an ending, but a lesson I place along your journey to train the eyes and ears of your soul. What lies ahead of you is not an ordinary path. It is a place where I will pour out what only a refined heart can sustain. As it is written, all things work together for good to those who love God, Romans 8:28. So even what you do not understand is being arranged for a greater purpose you have not yet fully seen. In the days ahead, you will begin to notice many forms of light appearing around you, people who speak words that sound like mine, who carry an atmosphere that feels spiritual, familiar, and easy to trust. But my child, not all light comes from the true source. Some light is only a reflection, not life itself. That is why I call you to remain alert, not in fear, but in clarity. As it is written, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. So when you remain in me, true light will always reveal itself, and false light will be exposed over time. I am teaching you a language that not everyone understands, the language of peace. When a soul comes near you, you will not discern it through emotional excitement, but through the spreading of peace. If peace remains, if your soul opens without pressure, that is a sign of alignment from me. But if peace withdraws, if there is a subtle disturbance you cannot explain, that is when I am speaking to you. Pause. As it is written, let the peace of God rule in your hearts, Colossians 3:15. So you must learn to let that peace become your guide, not passing emotion. Remember the moment when Paul intended to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit did not permit him. There was no clear explanation, no outward sign, only an inward restraint that he chose not to ignore. And because he listened, he was redirected to another path, the one where the true door was opened. Do you see? Sometimes a pause is not rejection, but redirection. Had Paul ignored that inner prompting, He would have stepped into a path that was not aligned with the right time. And so it is with you when I cause you to pause. It is not to take from you, but to protect you, my beloved child. Be watchful of those who come when you are at your weakest, when you are weary, when you long to be understood, when you desire a hand to hold you. There will be those who appear as immediate answers, speaking words that convince you they understand you more deeply than anyone else. But I tell you this, do not allow your soul to be defined by hands that have not been anointed by me, for I alone know every hidden place within you without wounding your soul. As it is written, the Lord searches the heart and examines the mind, Jeremiah 17:10. So no human understanding can ever replace my knowing of you. I have not left you in loneliness. I have brought you into stillness. And stillness is not an empty void. It is the refining place where your spiritual discernment is sharpened. When I quiet the noise around you, it is because I am teaching your ears to hear the voice of heaven again. You once asked, "Father, why does no one stay?" And I answered, "Because when too many voices crowd in, my voice can no longer be heard clearly. Each person I remove is not a loss, but a layer of interference being cleared away. And when those layers fall, you will begin to see what you could not see before, that true love does not rush, does not clamor, and never pulls you away from who you are. Just as Elijah learned on the mountain, I was not in the wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in the still small voice, 1 Kings 19:12. And so it is with true love. It does not come like a storm that sweeps you away, but like a gentle breeze that steadies you. It does not confuse you, but brings clarity. It does not demand that you strive to hold it, but allows you to rest within my presence. So, my beloved, do not fear when everything becomes quiet. This is not an emptiness to be filled, but a space I am sanctifying. I am teaching you discernment not to separate you from the world, but to keep you from being carried away by it. I am guarding you not from love, but from what only pretends to be love. And when what is true comes, you will not need to search for signs, for peace will remain. Light will be clear, and your soul will recognize it without doubt. My beloved child, there are moments when I am not only shielding you from what comes from the outside, but also gently guarding you from the rising currents within your own emotions. For not every stirring comes from life, and not every warmth is a sign of true love. There are things that require no words, no visible actions, only the creation of an emotional dependency, making you believe you are being filled, while in truth, you are being drawn away from your center in me. As it is written, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Jeremiah 17:9. So I do not allow you to rely solely on what you feel, but lead you back to what is unchanging truth. Therefore, I'm teaching you something deeper than recognizing people. I'm teaching you to discern the rhythm of the Spirit in every moment. You will no longer love by reflex or open your heart based on fleeting emotion, but you will learn to open it under guidance. I am not hardening your heart, I am refining it into precision. For love that comes from me always carries respect, honors boundaries, and keeps you in freedom. It does not invade, control, or demand. As it is written, the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. So anything that causes you to lose that freedom, even when it appears spiritual, does not come from me. My beloved child, if anyone causes you to strain to keep them, to reshape yourself so you will not lose them, or makes you feel as though you are being pulled into a current you cannot control, step back in peace. You do not need to argue, explain, or grow angry. Simply withdraw. For every step you take away from what is not right is a step closer to me. As it is written, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, Exodus 14:13. So your stillness is not weakness, it is an act of faith. Remember the story of Martha and Mary. While Martha was busy serving, Mary chose to sit at my feet and listen. And I said that Mary had chosen the better portion, which could not be taken from her. Do you see? Not every good action is the right one in a given moment. Some things may appear right, yet quietly draw you away from my presence. And there are times when the most right thing you can do is to pause, to listen, and to remain in me. From that place, everything else becomes clear. My beloved, do not allow the kindness I have placed within you to become an entry point for manipulation. Kindness is strength, but without wisdom, it will be taken advantage of. Love is your nature, but without boundaries, it will drain you. As it is written, wisdom preserves those who have it, Ecclesiastes 7:12. So I am forming within you both a tender heart and an awakened spirit. When these two stand together, you will no longer be drawn into relationships that wear you down. Hold this truth deeply. A true relationship will always draw you closer to me. It will not pull you away from prayer, from my voice, or from your peace. If any connection causes you to seek me less, to hear me less, to remain in me less, you do not need to wait for another sign. As it is written, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, Galatians 5:22. So when those fruits are no longer present, you must recognize that the root is not right. My beloved child, I say this to you with immeasurable love. When you release what is not from me, I will fill that space not with emptiness, but with my presence. And more than that, I will send you people who do not come to take from you, but to lift you, people who do not create dependency, but help you stand firm. As it is written, every good and perfect gift is from above, James 1:17. So what I give will never cause you to lose yourself. Therefore, my child, trust this process. Do not fear when you must step back. Do not be troubled when you must let go. For with every step you choose truth over emotion, you are growing. With every moment you choose me over temporary comfort, you are entering true freedom. And I am here not only to guide you, but to keep you anchored in true love. A love that never binds, never deceives, and never departs from you. My beloved, what you have just passed through was not a meaningless sequence of trials, but the laying of a foundation for something greater than you have imagined. Discernment is not a secondary skill. It is the pillar of the authority I am entrusting to you. For no one can stand firmly in true restoration without first learning to distinguish between what comes from light and what only appears to be light. As it is written, solid food belongs to those who are mature, who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil. Hebrews 5:14. So what you have endured is not wasted weariness, but the training that matures your soul. I did not allow those collisions to test you, but to build within you a foundation that cannot be shaken. For I am constructing a temple not of stone, but of your very life. And within that temple, clarity must come before expression. Discernment must come before impartation. Otherwise, the light you carry will be easily distorted by kindness that is not guided. Do you see? Compassion without my leading can become an entry point for confusion. But when it is anchored in wisdom, it becomes an instrument of healing. As it is written, by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. Proverbs 24:3. So I am strengthening you from within, before entrusting you with what is to come outwardly. There are moments when you feel so alone that it seems no one understands you. But, my child, it is in that very space that I have been closest to you. I do not depart when you see no one beside you. I become most present when every other voice falls silent. When you feel left behind, it is not abandonment, but a space I have created so that my voice may reach you without interference. As it is written, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. So stillness is not an emptiness to fear, but the place where truth is revealed. Remember Jonah when he was in the belly of the great fish, in darkness, in isolation, in what seemed like complete abandonment. He turned back to me and discovered that there was no place beyond my reach. And from that very place that looked like an ending, I prepared him for a new assignment. Do you see? There are seasons when I draw you into separation not to end your journey, but to reshape you before sending you forward. The tears you have shed have not been wasted. They have become the language through which I am rewriting your spiritual story. My beloved child, you have now passed through a long night, a night of discernment, of cutting away, of letting go, even when you did not want to. But that night was never meant to last forever. As it is written, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30:5. So, what you are sensing now is not accidental. Pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and notice the atmosphere has changed. The light is returning. What once caused you to tremble no longer holds the same power. I tell you this with all the tenderness of a loving father. The new season has opened. It is not approaching, it is already here. You are standing at the threshold of a new chapter, where everything you have learned will begin to bear fruit. But remember this, the discernment that brought you here is the same discernment that will sustain you in what lies ahead. For the deeper you step into the light, the more you will need eyes that are sanctified. Do not return to what I have taught you to release. Do not allow the memory of past connections to pull you out of your new position. If you hold on to what belonged to the previous season, you will slow down what I am now unfolding. As it is written, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. Philippians 3:13. So I am calling you to move forward, not in haste, but in assurance. My beloved child, you are no longer the one standing in darkness, searching for light. You have become the one who carries the light. And because of that, everything you step into from this point forward will not only affect you, but also those I will send to you. That is why I have taught you discernment not for defense, but for stewardship. For discernment does not merely protect you from error, it equips you to guide the right people, at the right time, in the right direction. So walk forward, my child, with a heart that has been purified, with eyes that have been opened, and with a soul that has been strengthened. This new season has not come to test you, but to reveal you, and I am here with you, not only as the one who leads, but as the one who has prepared you for what you are about to enter. My beloved, do not look back anymore, for that road has fulfilled its purpose in your journey. I do not ask you to forget, but I teach you to release. There are why questions that, if you continue to hold on to them, will bind your feet at the threshold of what is new. As it is written, do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Isaiah 43:18-19. So what I am opening before you is not a continuation of the past, but a complete renewal according to the pattern of heaven. Look carefully now, my child, with the eyes I have purified. What was once broken is no longer scattered in your hands as meaningless fragments. I am restoring it, but not in the old way. I am not mending what was broken with worn threads, I am rebuilding with new material, stronger, purer, rightly aligned. What you once lost, I do not return as a copy, for I am not a God who replicates. I am the Creator. As it is written, I have come that they may have life, and have it more abundantly. John 10:10. So what I give does not merely suffice, it surpasses what you once thought was best. You have passed through a narrow corridor, a season where everything was compressed, stripped down, and refined to its very root. You felt confined, as though there was no space to breathe. Yet it was in that corridor that I did my deepest work. And now, I am leading you into a wide place where the light is no longer overshadowed by others, where you no longer need to strive to prove your worth, where you can live fully as who you are in the truth I have placed within you. As it is written, He brought me out into a spacious place. He delivered me because He delighted in me. Psalm 18:19. So this new space is not something you must earn. It is something I have prepared. I see that your hands still tremble. I see the whisper of fear within you asking, if I move forward, will I stumble again? Will I lose again? Will I be hurt again? My beloved, I do not deny what you have endured. But I tell you this time is different. Not because circumstances have changed, but because you have changed. You are no longer one who enters relationships or situations without discernment. You have been trained, taught, and strengthened. As it is written, the Lord is with me, I will not be afraid. Psalm 118:6. So fear no longer has the authority to define your steps. Remember the moment when Peter stepped out of the boat in the midst of the storm. He was able to walk on water not because the waves had calmed, but because his eyes were fixed on me. Yet when he looked down, fear overtook him, and he began to sink. I did not rebuke him for his fear. I reached out and lifted him. Do you see? What sustains you is not the absence of storms, but where you fix your gaze. And this time, I am not only teaching you to step out, I am teaching you to keep your eyes steady. My child, understand this deeply. Every time I cut, I also sow. Every time I take away, I also restore. I never remove without the intention to give. As a gardener prunes the branches so that the tree may bear more fruit. John 15:2. I am working within you not to empty you, but to prepare you. And what you are about to receive is not a fleeting comfort, not a temporary sense of ease, but a deep and abiding peace that the world can neither create nor take away. As I have spoken, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives do I give to you. John 14:27. So what is coming does not depend on people or circumstances. It flows from me. This peace does not require your effort to sustain it. It sustains you. It does not disappear when circumstances shift. It remains because I remain. Therefore, my beloved, move forward, not in haste, but in trust. Do not turn back to inspect doors that have already been closed. Do not strive to understand what I have chosen not to explain. For when you look around with renewed vision, you will see that everything is being restored, yet not as it once was. And this very difference is the evidence that I am at work in your journey. Let your hands cease trembling, for I am holding them. Let your heart release its fear, for I am leading you. Let your soul come to rest, for what I have begun, I will complete. You are not merely leaving an old chapter behind, you are stepping into a new life, where you no longer search for your worth, but live from the worth I have established in you from the beginning. My beloved child, the words I have spoken are not passing sounds that fade away. They are living seeds, sown at the appointed time, ready to take root when you are prepared. When I said, "You shall go out with joy," and be led forth with peace. It was not a poetic image, but a reality now forming beneath your feet. As it is written in Isaiah 55:12, "Joy and peace are not merely emotions, they are the current that guides you, the sign that you are walking in alignment." And now, you no longer need to strive to find favor. Harmony itself is finding you, because you have been repositioned rightly. Look around you with new eyes, and you will see that what once resisted you is now settling. What once pulled at you has lost its grip. Your work, your relationships, even the smallest details of your life, everything is beginning to move in rhythm with the peace I have placed within you. As it is written, "Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace." Proverbs 3:17. So you no longer need to chase or force what belongs to you and me. It will remain without strain. This is the mark of the new season, a season where you no longer strive to survive, but live to shine. You have walked through a journey that not many can truly understand. You have learned when to be silent so that your soul could be healed, when to speak so that truth could be revealed, and when to love, not blindly, but through light that has been refined. As it is written, "A wise man restrains his spirit, but a fool gives full vent to it." Proverbs 29:11. So your maturity is not measured by doing more, but by knowing the right moment to do what is right. And that maturity is now becoming the firm foundation for what I am about to entrust to you. I am not rebuilding your life from old fragments. I am reconstructing it through the wisdom and trust you have gained. For if the foundation does not change, the structure will collapse again. But your foundation is no longer the same. It is now set upon understanding, discernment, and your alignment with me. As it is written, "Whoever hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock." Matthew 7:24. So even when winds come and storms arise, you will no longer be shaken as before. And now, I am placing you into a new season, a season of radiance. Not a light that depends on people or the recognition of the world, but a light that rises from within you, ignited by me, sustained through the nights when you thought you had no strength left. As it is written, "The light of the righteous rejoices." Proverbs 13:9. So, what shines from you now is not borrowed light, but true light tested, refined, and anointed. My beloved child, do not lower your head because of what you have endured. The scars upon your soul are not marks of failure, but testimonies of deliverance. They declare that you have passed through darkness and were not consumed. As it is written, "To give them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning." Isaiah 61:3. So what once caused you pain is now becoming a source of strength within you, not to keep you bound to the memory of hurt, but to enable you to bring healing to others. Remember Joseph, the one who was betrayed, forgotten, imprisoned, yet ultimately raised up to save many. When he stood before his brothers, he no longer spoke from the place of pain, but from revelation. "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Genesis 50:20. Do you see? What once stood against you is now what I am using to lift you. And like Joseph, you are not restored for yourself alone, but to become a channel of blessing for others. So, my beloved, walk forward with your head lifted, not in pride, but in the awareness that you have been transformed. You are no longer one led by emotion, but one who carries the oil of compassion. You are no longer merely seeking healing, but becoming an instrument of healing. As it is written, "Blessed be God, who comforts us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort those who are in any trouble." 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. So nothing you have gone through has been wasted, It has become the anointing upon your life. Now step forward. There is no need to look back. No need to doubt. What I have promised is being fulfilled. And as you walk in this peace, you will begin to see everything around you aligning with heaven. Every step you take being guided, and everything you touch beginning to flourish in its appointed time. I am with you. And this time, you are not merely surviving, you are truly living. My beloved child, the blessing I am preparing does not come with overwhelming noise, nor does it fall like a sudden downpour that forces you to rush and gather it. It comes like the gentle dew of the morning, so subtle you may not notice it at first, yet deep enough to soak into every layer of your life. It touches your mornings when you awaken without heaviness. It fills ordinary moments with an unexplainable peace. And within those quiet details, heaven is speaking to you. I am here, and I have not left you. As it is written, His mercies are new every morning. Lamentations 3:23. So do not overlook the quiet tenderness I am sowing each day while searching for something grand. You will begin to notice a shift that is quiet, yet unmistakably real. Faces that once stirred your heart will no longer carry the same weight. Memories that once drained you will now feel like stories that have already reached their ending. And the fears that once confined you will turn into thanksgiving, not because they never caused pain, but because they no longer hold power over you. As it is written, You have turned my mourning into dancing. Psalm 30:11. So this transformation is not an illusion, but evidence that you have truly moved forward. And as you move forward, I do not leave you to walk alone. I am guiding you toward people who have already been prepared not by chance, but by design within my purpose. They will not come to take from you, but to walk with you. They will not drain your strength, but rise with you. They will not compete with the light you carry, but stand beside you and shine in the same direction. As it is written, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. Ecclesiastes 4:9. So, these connections will not diminish you, but establish you more firmly. You will recognize them not through emotional intensity, but through the stillness of peace. There will be no need to force, to explain, or to prove. Just as the shepherd and the sheep recognize one another by voice, John 10:27, your soul will recognize theirs. The peace within you will respond to the peace within them. The light within you will recognize the light within them. And you will know not through reasoning, but through a deep confirmation that cannot be imitated. Remember, when Elisha encountered Elijah, there was no prolonged persuasion, no pressure. In a single moment, through a simple act, Elisha knew he was to follow. That is how true connections operate, without noise, without force, yet with clarity and certainty. What comes from me does not require you to struggle to keep it, because it is already aligned to remain. My beloved child, those I bring into your life will not cause you to forget me, but to remember me more deeply. They will not create dependence, but strengthen your freedom. They will not take my place, but stand with you in honoring me. As it is written, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17. So their presence will refine you, not diminish you. Therefore, do not rush in search of what you think you need. Do not chase what merely resembles your expectations. Continue to walk in the peace I have placed within you. For when you are positioned rightly, what is right will come to you. As it is written, seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added to you. Matthew 6:33. So your part is not to strive, but to remain. And as you remain in me, you will find that urgency fades, anxiety dissolves, and confusion clears. What remains is a gentle yet certain flow leading you to the right people, at the right time, for the right purpose. I do not merely give you relationships, I give you spiritual alignment, and within that alignment, you will no longer need to ask, "Is this right?" because your soul will already know before your mind can question. Step forward, my beloved. What I have promised is not merely approaching, it is already touching your life. Little by little, in a peace that cannot be imitated, and within that peace, you will live not in fear, but in the quiet assurance that you are being led, protected, and placed exactly where you belong. My child, what I am doing in you does not end with the healing of one life. I am moving through you to touch an entire generation. I see a generation that has grown accustomed to bonds disguised as love, to emotional exhaustion, mistaken for connection. And in the midst of that, I am raising you as a living testimony that love can be pure without being weak, that connection can be free without being shallow, that compassion can be strong without being exploited. As it is written, "You are the light of the world, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket." Matthew 5:14-15. So you were not created to hide, but to shine in a way that only you can. I am not teaching you to love so that you will never be hurt again. I am teaching you to love so that you are no longer controlled by your wounds. You will become the reflection of a different kind of love, a love that does not arise from lack, nor from the need to be filled, but flows from fullness in me. When you love from fullness, you will no longer cling, no longer fear loss, no longer strain to keep others near. As it is written, perfect love casts out fear, 1 John 4:18. So the love I place within you does not only heal you, it sets you free. And when others look at you, they will no longer see someone defined by past pain, but someone transformed. They will not see a victim of circumstance, but one who has been saved, called, and sent. You will not need to explain yourself, for your presence will speak. As it is written, they overcame by the word of their testimony, Revelation 12:11. So your life itself will become a living testimony not through theory, but through reality. Do not think that I only desire for you to be at ease. Peace is not the destination, it is the foundation. For only when your soul is established in true peace can you carry greater things into the world. I am preparing you not merely to exist, but to reign in light. As it is written, he who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Luke 16. So the peace you are holding now is the beginning of the authority you will walk in later. Remember Esther, a woman placed in position not for comfort, but to deliver a people. She was not prepared in noise, but in hidden years formed, refined, and shaped. And when the moment came, that preparation allowed her to stand firm. Do you see, I am not only working in you for now, but for what you will touch in the future. And like Esther, you have been positioned for such a time as this. Esther 4:14. My beloved child, every place you step into from now on will carry the imprint of light, not because you are trying to appear good, but because you have become a dwelling place for me. You do not need to speak prophecy with your words, for your life itself will become prophecy. As it is written, you are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwells in you. 1 Corinthians 3:16. So, every step you take, every word you speak, every moment of your presence carries something beyond yourself. Those you encounter will not only hear you, they will sense what I am doing within you. They will perceive a difference they cannot fully explain, yet cannot deny. And within that difference, they will begin to believe that restoration is real, that deliverance is real, That light is not merely an idea, but a living reality. As it is written, "Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father." Matthew 5:16. So the light within you is not for your own elevation, but to reveal me. Therefore, my beloved child, do not make yourself smaller because of what you have been through. Do not think your story exists merely to be survived. Your story exists to be revealed. Every tear you have shed, every time you rose after being broken, every moment you chose light instead of darkness, all of it is forming a testimony that cannot be imitated. Walk in what I am opening before you. You are no longer only the one who has been healed. You have become one who carries healing. You are no longer only seeking light, you have become light. And within that light, a generation will begin to see a different path, a path of love without bondage, of life without pretense, and of authority built upon true peace. I am with you, and through you, I will continue to reach many more. My beloved, prepare yourself in stillness, for what I am bringing does not arrive with the noise of a storm, but spreads like a quiet song flowing into every corner of your life. Grace will not only touch what is great, but will seep into the details you once considered insignificant, a seemingly chance meeting, a passing word, a small opportunity. But now you will begin to see, nothing is random anymore. Everything is being woven into an order that only I can create. As it is written, all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. So every piece of your life is being placed exactly where it belongs. The tears you once cried have not been lost in forgetfulness. I have kept them, and now they are beginning to grow into a harvest. You will stand in a field where your past pain once sowed seeds, and you will realize that nothing you endured was in vain. As it is written, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Psalm 126:5. So the joy that is coming to you is not a temporary replacement, but the fruit of a journey I have preserved from beginning to end. And there will come a time when you look back, not with regret, but with understanding. You will remember the long nights when you could not see the way forward, the moments when you felt left behind, and you will smile, not because everything has become perfect, but because you will recognize that in those very moments, I was closest to you. And you will say, without those seasons of night, you would not have learned to cherish this dawn. As it is written, light arises in the darkness for the upright. Psalm 112:4. So, the light you now see is not accidental. It is the answer to the path you have walked. My beloved child, from this moment forward, the language of your heart will begin to change. You will no longer ask, why did this happen? But instead, thank you for leading me here through it. For when you begin to see me in all things, you will no longer need to understand every detail. It will be enough for you to know that I am holding everything together. As it is written, give thanks in all circumstances. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. So your gratitude will no longer depend on what surrounds you, but will become a steady current flowing within your soul. Remember Job, who lost everything, yet did not lose me. When he stood again after it all, he not only received back what had been taken, he received it in greater measure. But more importantly, he came to know me more deeply than before. Do you see? What I give is not only restoration outwardly, but renewal inwardly. And when your inner life is made strong, everything outward will find its rightful place again. Now, my beloved, lift your head. Do not walk as one still bound to the past, but as one who has been set free. The night has passed, not because you overcame the darkness by your own strength, but because my light has risen and driven it away. The dawn has come, not as a distant hope, but as the reality you now stand within, upon your life. My light is shining more clearly than ever before. It is not borrowed light, not dependent on another, but light forged through trial, preserved through tears, and anointed by faith. As it is written, "Arise, shine, for your light has come." Isaiah 60:1. So, you do not need to wait for another sign. You are the sign. Therefore, walk forward. No more fear, for I am with you. No more doubt, for I have confirmed you. No more heaviness, for I have lifted from you what was never yours to carry. For I, your God, declare, I have seen every tear you have shed. I have heard every whisper of your heart. I have delivered you from what you could not escape on your own. And now, I am making all things new, not in part, but in fullness, not only outwardly, but deep within your soul. So step forward, my child. This time, you are not merely moving ahead, you are stepping into what I ordained for you from the very beginning. Thank you for receiving this message. Know that you are not merely a listener, you are chosen to live daily within the presence of God's Word. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss any future spiritual messages. Amen.